This land is pure land. This land is pure land. This land is pure land. Pure land is here for you and me. What is pure land? Pure land Buddhism. Pure land Buddhism is one of the most widely practiced Mahayana traditions in East Asia. Its teachings focus on Amitabha. You heard that Namuamitabul song while lying down, Amitabha. So who is Amitabha? Amitabha is a very popular one in Buddhist countries. Most of us are familiar with the historical Gautama Buddha, who was the founder of Buddhism. As Buddhist philosophy developed, additional Buddha figures emerged to emphasize certain qualities. And Amitabha is one of those, and is known as the Buddha of immeasurable light and limitless life. Pure Land practitioners believe that Amita presides over a heavenly realm and promises salvation and paradise for all. They believe if one repeatedly calls on Amitabha and contemplates his or her virtuous characteristics, one will be reborn in a pure land, a happy, blissful state where one will live after death. So is it true that we will be reborn in the pure, blissful land if we repeatedly call on Amitabha? Actually, it is true. By repeatedly calling on Amitabha, we develop a chanting meditation which guides us into rebirth, a peaceful state of mind. This peaceful state of mind is the pure land of this life as well as the next. Pure land is the journey of now, not a destination we reach when we die. There is no destination of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is here. These days, I'm working on my second chanting CD, recording several different versions of Namuami타불. Almost every tradition of Eastern Asian Buddhist temple chant Namua미타불. Namu is derived from the phonetic sound of namas in Sanskrit. Namas means bow, respect, or take refuge. The most frequently used expression in the Indian tradition is namaste. Amitabha. Amita, and Bul means Buddha. So Amitabha means Amitabha. In won-Buddhism, Amitabha is the Buddha nature within. The Buddha nature within. So altogether, Namua미타불 means homage to Amitabha, the Buddha of infinite life. In other words, this mantra means, may I return to my true nature within, now, here. When we take a long road trip, we tend to wonder, how long How long till we get there? Oh gosh, I can't wait to arrive. But we can also wonder, if will I be completely happy and content when I get there? If I'm not happy and content now while traveling, I may not be content and happy when I reach the destination. If I don't know how to be happy now, when I get there, how will I know how to be happy then? The completely happy and contented state, nirvana, is not the destination, but the journey. Peace is not the destination. Peace is the way. Healing is not the destination. Healing is the way. There is no way to the Pure Land. Pure Land is the way. A few years ago, a Raleigh Temple member, Todd, and I were doing errands at one of the wholesale flooring stores. I did not realize what Raleigh is like when it comes to rush hour. I thought there was plenty of time to get to the temple before meditation, but there was much more traffic than I anticipated. Even though my hands were on the steering wheel, my mind was elsewhere. I could not stop thinking about the folks who might be waiting for me in the temple's parking lot. I stepped on the gas as much as I could and thought that I would feel happy and relieved if I could arrive just 5 minutes early or at least on time. In the car, Todd was sitting in the passenger seat contemplating his Dharma talk for that evening. As we discussed what Pure Land meant, Todd said, "Pure Land is right here." As soon as I heard him saying this, my anxious mind became calmer. I realized there is no need to suffer because I was already in Pure Land. I also hoped that people who are locked out would be in Pure Land. Pure Land in the parking lot. Pure Land is not only in a parking lot, but it is also found in the Heart Sutra. Please go to page 10 of your chanting booklet. Pure Land with the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. 1, we live in a realm of 5 aggregates. What are the 5 aggregates? It's open book test. Form, sensation, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. We live in a realm of 5 aggregates. Form, sensation, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. When we live exclusively with these 5 aggregates and believe that is our true self, we are not living in Pure Land. We are living in a bubble land of our own personal perceptions. 2, when we live with the insight that the 5 aggregates are empty, we live in Pure Land. When we drop our filtered concepts and baggage from the experience of the 5 aggregates, we live in Pure Land. 3, when we utilize the 5 aggregates and transform them into grace. We live in a pure land, grounded on earth, in the middle of the market, in the middle of the traffic, in the middle of a parking lot, in the middle of this very temple. Every experience of 5 aggregates is transitory and yet marvelous, which we fully accept and appreciate with loving hearts and compassionate eyes. This is timeless and placeless pure land. Which land do you occupy now? Are you living in a bubble land, or are you living in a pure land? Won-Buddhism is not a pure land tradition, but Sotaesan, our founding teacher, adopted the practice of chanting Amita Buddha's name. When it comes to chanting meditation, you can chant Coca-Cola, 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 or anything, any mantra you want. So in our temple, we created drop, release, let it go, be here now, all is grace. And we created even Christmas chant, and we can chant whatever we want. But today, I am happy to introduce the recitation of the name of Amita Buddha from our Dharma book. Our minds waver between favorable and unfavorable situations, but they can be settled through chanting meditation. Reciting the Buddha's name is a method that focuses the distracted mind into a single thought. In won-Buddhism, we aim to discover the Amita Buddha, our true self-nature, within our own minds. Our minds embody infinite life because they are originally free from both arising and ceasing. In this state, we are ever bright, ever clear, and free from darkness. This is what we call Amita Buddha of our own minds. The Amita Buddha of our own minds. Our true self-natures are originally pure, utterly void of transgressions and merits. This is the ultimate bliss of our self-nature. So may we let our distracted spirits rest on the single thought of Amita Buddha. May we guide our unsteady minds to the realm of calm bliss. This is the authentic practice of reciting the Buddha's name. Here is some specific guidance from our founding teacher, Sotaesan. When the mind is troubled or distracted throughout the day and night, you may find it helpful to counteract, I love this word, counteract this distracted mind by reciting the Buddha's name. When you are faced with vexations, when greed arises, settle yourself by reciting the Buddha's name. Namuamitabul. When you are drawn by favorable sensory conditions or repelled by adverse sensory conditions, you can settle yourself by reciting the Buddha's name. Namuamitabul. Coming back to this practice over and over again will illuminate the original state of your true nature. However, reciting the phrase only with your lips and without your heart and without your understanding, the practice will have a very little effect. But for those who know the truth of reciting the Buddha's name, even one recitation can enable them to conquer a myriad of mental demons. With the Sotaesan's guidance in mind, why don't we try reciting Amita Buddha's name just one time to see it can conquer our mental demons. You know, try out. We're going to say Namuamitabul with our fullest voice. Fullest voice. I'll do one time and then you do together. Namuamitabul. Namuamitabul. Sotaesan said, if you recite the Buddha's name for a long period of time, you naturally will gain samadhi and be gratified by ultimate bliss. The benefits of this practice are identical to those of seated meditation in silence. Silent meditation and chanting meditation can be used in alternation, depending on the time of day or depending on your mind-body condition. Recitation of the Buddha's name can be especially effective during the daytime when you're faced with various kinds of external sound and external sensory conditions. Seated meditation is more appropriate in the evening and in early morning, or when you are away from busy external sensory conditions. If practitioners chant Buddha's name or meditate in silence by mindfully assessing their surroundings and mental states, the two will form one continuous practice until they easily attain the power of deep concentration and equanimity. So if you like to obtain the deep power of concentration and equanimity, use chanting meditation and silent meditation alternatively. Now, dear friends, let us recite together Amita Buddha's name for a few minutes, followed by silent meditation. You can go to page 2 in the bottom of your chanting booklet. Let's read all together one more time. Namuamitabul. May I take refuge in the infinite light of our true nature. May I take refuge in the infinite light of my true nature. Namuamitabul, 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 아미타불 나무 아미타불 나무 아미타불 나무 아미타불 나무 아미타불 나무 아미타불 Chant from your heart. 나무 아미타불 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 This land is pure land. This land is pure land. Pure land is here for you and me. We breathe in this pure land. We sit here in this pure land. We smile in this pure land. Are you in your pure land, Nate? Are you in your pure land?
Yeah, partly there, thanks.
Thank you, dear friends.